Welcome to Ghost Stories. Join me, your host, Arthur Mansley, and my assistant, Beth.
Hi, I'm Beth.
I'm doing the intro. As we traverse across the continental United States, interviewing ghouls, ghosts, goblins, and everything in between, in an attempt to bridge the gap between monstrosity and humanity and demystify the mystic. Today, a little bit of a special circumstance. Our guest is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and for reasons that shall not be discussed, I am currently banned from the Upper Peninsula.
I tried to go there, but Arthur
That
was
is-
stopped at the border.
Not relevant to the interview in question, but
You should tell them what happened last time.
irrelevant.
I think they deserve to know.
It was just a small mishap with someone I
Okay.
mistook for a gnome and tried to interview, and they were not pleased, and as such, I've been banned from Michigan.
So we're in Wisconsin
So
right now.
we are in Wisconsin doing our first tele-interview over the internet with the wonderful and inimitable Dr. Franz Birkenstock. Please introduce yourself, Dr. Franz.
Hello, I am Dr. Franz Birkenstock. I come from the Upper Peninsula, had a normal life, died, and now I'm a skeleton. I spend my days painting, dreaming, doing the normal doctor things, except I build my body.
You're a bodybuilder.
Yes, I am a bodybuilder. I hit the gym.
That's a strange occupation for a skeleton, if I may be so bold to say, just due to the lack of, muscles in general.
Well, you can find muscles wherever you want.
Really?
You know.
What is your favorite muscle group to work with?
Deltoids are fun, but I would say I enjoy working with the heart the most.
Really? You work with the heart? Could you describe a little bit of the process of working on the heart in a bodybuilding sense? I've not heard of this in my limited knowledge.
I'm sorry. Can we take it back? Because I really feel like you were mean to Beth in the intro, and it's just throwing me off.
Well, I apologize. It's a normal apprentice relationship. Beth has no knowledge of what's going on, and
I'm a
instruct her with the
professional. I'm a doctorate. I have my doctorate. I am a doctor, and you have disrespected my profession. And the whole bodybuilder armada is what we call ourselves, the BAs. So, you must take what you said back, redo, and I'll introduce myself again, okay?
I appreciate it, Doctor, but it's really fine. It's not a problem.
Respect the good doctor's wishes. If he wants to redo the intro, we can.
Okay.
I'll just do a little. Join me, Ghost Stories, Arthur Mansley, and my lovely and completely beneficial and helpful assistant, Beth.
Do you even know my last name?
Beth, as we interview.
Did I get in the middle of something?
Oh, no, you've not at all.
It's been the dynamic since day one.
I actually came to your cast to talk about something that fills me with great sorrow, something that I've done that fills me with shame.
Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect interview material. Please tell us your greatest shame, Dr. Franz Birkenstock.
Well, I got done with the gym.
Yes.
He was fine. I put his body together, really cemented it. And he worked, but he didn't come alive, right? Because that's not what I intended for Jim. He's different. But Doug, on the other hand, came to life.
I'm sorry.
I think we've had a grave misunderstanding.
Don't say grave. That's insensitive.
We have had a we've had a terrible. We've had a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Thank you for backtracing there.
Sorry, I'm constantly trying to be more PC, as Beth puts it. Thank you, Beth.
You're getting it.
But you, when you said you were a bodybuilder, I was picturing like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, I
European.
mean, when they die, I'll probably take their bodies. Sure,
Right,
yeah.
and this is the root of the misunderstanding. I think it is quite literal bodybuilding.
Yes, I find body parts scattered about the graves of the UP. Sometimes I travel out further, and I put them together. I paste them with glues and uh, many fixings. I think I tried once to like gauze that you would use to like fix somebody when they're hurt. Well, I tried once to put them together entirely with medical gauze, and well, they fell apart. And never. Well, yes, that's what I do. I build bodies.
And this is your profession, your occupation. You receive either a salary or a paycheck for this.
No.
No. Oh.
I got my doctorate in the fine arts in art history.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes,
A
yes.
marvelous, honorable profession.
Yes. So but it's just so boring sitting there at your desk all day. You know?
I can agree.
Something about modern art really pulls my soul out of me, you know? So I wanted something that I could really artistically like challenge myself with.
Mhm.
And get your hands on the history from the dead people, I suppose.
Yes. I actually I use a lot of famous people in my bodybuilding.
Really, all them famous Upper Peninsula Michiganders.
Yes. There's uh Carol Flemings.
Oh, Carol Flemings. Oh,
You're
man.
kidding.
In my
Yeah.
youth, I was a massive Carol Flemings fan. You were saying you worked with Carol Flemings.
Yes, Carol Flemings, the opera singer. She was particularly good for her lungs. Like her lungs maintained for many years after her death. I only recently came upon her lungs, and that's why I've come to talk to you today. Is I put Carol Fleming's lungs in Doug.
In Doug, yes. Who came after Jim.
Yes, I created Jim and Doug, but Doug, when he came after, uh, is different.
Different. I'm sensing something kind of laying beneath the word different there. Something a bit more. Would you mind going a bit more in depth on that?
Have you ever heard of Michigan State?
Michigan State, as in Michigan, the state, or like Michigan
Like,
State, the educational pillar of Michigan.
yes, the college, the educational pillar of Michigan.
Right. Yes.
Yes. Well, I built Doug, and I thought, this is a good idea. I built Doug, and I built Jim too, and they could be friends. I could play with them like they're my action figures, and I'll have a dandy time. But something called me. I believe it was something I must have read in some book at some time. That thought, maybe I should try and bring Doug to life. He could be my friend forever.
So the bodies you're currently building do not come to life, a la Frankenstein's monster. They are
Who?
purely just amalgamations of other people's body parts laid out and fastened together in a crude amalgamation of humanity.
Yes, I build them and then play with like they're my friends. Because
Oh.
there aren't many skeletons in the Upper Peninsula, all the skeletons I know moved out west. It's a whole big
Yes.
thing, like summertime, dry bones. You love to be in the ocean when you're a skeleton. But I prefer the Upper Peninsula. Of course, I spend my time building bodies, and it makes me happy.
You said you read in a book some process of bringing life to one of your creations. Could
Yes.
you describe that process a little bit? I mean, without, revealing your greatest secrets, of course. I'm not.
I believe that in the book that I read about creating life,
Mhm.
when they did it with like a big electrical shock, right?
Ooh.
So I thought, what has a lot of electricity? Okay.
Mhm.
And I brought the body to one of those transformer bays, like the big gates that they have.
Oh, yes, like the I was thinking of Optimus Prime. I'm sorry, but no, the big electrical transformer. Yes,
It's a different bay, I'm pretty sure.
it's the Michael Bay. Yes.
Transformer bay. Oh, that's very clever.
I'm sorry, I get a little confused in my advanced stage.
Oh my gosh, Art. May I call you Art?
Oh, well, I mean, if you please, yes.
Art, you are so funny. You're just a little mean sometimes.
Well, I do my best to be, as Beth puts it, PC. So
It's a work in progress.
it is a work in progress. Thank you, Beth.
Well, I hope it works out for you because whew, there's so much there,
I'm feeling a little personally attacked, so I'm going to switch the topic a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
You created your creations, Doug and Jim, and
Oh
possibly others.
yes.
What do you do with them? You mentioned playing with them like action figures, but what does that entail?
You ever seen the movie Weekend at Bernie's?
I've heard of it.
I go to modern grocery stores,
Mhm.
and I say modern because they looked different when I was a kid, right?
Right.
Yeah. I go to modern grocery stores, and I sort of try and get somebody to think that my body could potentially be really shopping at that grocery store.
Mhm. So you're in the grocery store, kind of maneuvering this body around like so many copious corpses, right? And you
Yes.
yourself are completely skeletonized, controlling
Yes.
this person.
Well, I've made myself sort of like a disguise.
Oh,
So
like a flesh suit.
yes, and I carry the body with me, like to my left or to my right, and then people say like, "Oh, look at those two good buddies."
Really? Is that the usual reaction? Is, oh, look at those good buddies? It's not like overwhelming fear and disgust at these two abominations prancing around before them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest about the people of the Upper Peninsula real quick. Let's
Oh,
let's
geez,
let's
I'm
dial it down.
very,
Let's be very honest about a cultural problem that I have been dealing with. The people of Marquette, Michigan, absolutely love an angry mob. I don't know what it is. I don't know why they do it.
That would explain a lot about my last visit. I swear I got chased by 4 different angry mobs when I tried to talk to this gnome fellow.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, you're experiencing it too. Yes. They love to light their torches, pitchforks, and just mass into a group of people and start charging someone down.
Oh, yes. It seemed very organized.
So a lot of the times, when I go to grocery stores and try and pretend that I'm, Jim's friend, they say, "Oh God, what is that?" And then they chase me out of the store. So my goal is to eventually be able to go to a grocery store and leave
And not being mobbed out.
and not be mobbed out. I want to buy something.
Have you considered possibly, potentially, creating or joining your own mob to counter mob the mob?
I never thought it. Well, you see, that's tough because all my skeleton friends are over in the West Coast.
Hmm.
Oh, I could build a mob.
See, I feel like I might have planted a bad seed.
Yeah,
here,
that was really a bad choice, Arthur.
I feel like I might have.
No, this has legs. This really has many legs.
But I think you have plenty of legs enough in your collection.
I do. I just need to maybe get a few more arms or other things.
But, let's discuss that. Where do you go to collect your body parts? You mentioned graves earlier, but is that it?
Sometimes I mean, a lot of the stuff I do is over Craigslist.
Craigslist? Who's Craig?
Well, he puts together a list for me of like where to find bodies.
Craig. Beth, I need you to try to find this Craig. We need to have a discussion with him.
Let me write that down.
Yes, thank you, Beth. Yes,
So anyway, I search on Craigslist. I find so there's a body of like a famous Marquette, Michigan like a
such as Carol Fleming.
train conductor. And
train conductors don't.
Yeah, I mean they're very famous for their jobs.
Mhm.
So I go and I find like, oh, okay, so where's the body? And I go to that specific graveyard and I dig it up and I take the body part I need, and usually I leave like a prosthetic or maybe some gold.
So you're not just stealing, you're replacing and leaving.
Yeah, like I leave something. Sometimes I'll give them flowers. It depends on what they liked in there. Like if there's a train. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about how that emotionally impacts you, if you feel any guilt, but it sounds like you take care of that.
Well, up until recently, I've been very happy, but now I'm filled with shame and sorrow for what happened with Doug.
What happened?
Poor sweet Doug!
Oh, Doug, don't lose yourself here, Dr. Franz Birkenstock. Tell me, please, share your pain. What happened to Doug?
Doug was going to the grocery store with me all the time. And like usual, we'd get run out. And so I thought, maybe I'll bring him to life and we could be just friends. So I get on my little mustache and my top hat, getting ready to go to the grocery store in my disguise. And I brought him to the Transformer Bay, and I gave him a big old zap.
Yes.
And he woke up. And he was alive. And I screamed, "Oh boy, he's alive!" Which is something totally original.
Oh, yes,
that I did for the first time ever. And he gets up and he tells me that he dreams of going to film school.
Well, you've created a being with its own hopes and aspirations. Do you not take pride in that?
But he's just sort of like a dick about it, Like he's kind of he's kind of like mean about it. Like he's like, "Oh, what's your favorite film?" And I'll say, "Oh, my favorite film is, a goofy movie." And he says, "Oh, a goofy movie? That's not really a film."
Really? That's
yes.
peak cinema, if you ask me.
And I said, "Of course it's a film. It has movie in the title."
Yes.
And he says, "But where's the art?"
Wow. So really you have created a monster.
I've created a monster.
How terrible.
And
do you
so
think that there was some sort of glitch in like the ingredients that you used? Do you know why this happened?
Well, I used Carol's lungs in Doug. So obviously he wanted to use them by speaking.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think it's like an amalgamation of all the parts I used. Like a lot of like I was visiting my family out west when I found the parts that went into Doug. I'm not sure if the people I took the parts from were actually dead, but it was just a bunch of old men in Hollywood offices that seemed to be sort of alive or not.
So the apparent makeup of the parts were tainted from the beginning.
Yes, so the parts may have loved film from the beginning. Yes.
Very interesting that the creatures you create take on aspects of those they are created from.
Unless I don't bring them to life. Jim is made of mostly like criminals, but he's fine because I never brought him to life.
Because Jim is essentially a giant meaty action figure.
Yeah, because he's my best friend.
So tell me, where is Doug now? You've created this monster. You've acknowledged he's a monster and a terrible, terrible being.
Well, that brings me to the story, right? So I take Doug to the grocery store, and I'm like, "This will be the time. We're not going to get run out by angry mobs." And he says, "Yeah, you're right. We're not going to get run out by angry mobs. And also, did I ever tell you how much of a masterpiece The Godfather 2 is.
Mm.
And I said, yes, you told me 3 times already. And so we went to the grocery store, and of course he starts talking to other people that work there or are coming to shop. And well, they mobbed us. They mobbed us. Yes, they mobbed us pretty dang hard. But they didn't mob me. No, I was fine. Actually, I was not a part of the mobbing. But they drove him out of the UP, Doug. So he's wandering somewhere in the greater United States. I think he went to the University of Michigan.
Purely for his terribly annoying love of film and cinema.
Did you ever hear of this thing? It's called Instagram.
I believe Beth.
Yeah, we're working on that. He's a little slow.
Yeah, I mostly keep myself to the AOLs and the AIMs.
And we're also trying to phase that out.
It's a work in progress. But
Oh, Beth, you remind me of my friend Doug. Doug once set me up with an Instagram, and because of it, I can see what he's doing on a daily basis. He's spending his days at college without his father.
So you feel that you're a father to Doug?
Oh, yes. I've never felt that before with another type of body that I've built, but Doug is different.
Doug is special.
Doug is special.
Now that Doug has fled the Upper Peninsula and left you behind, how do you feel?
I feel like a large sense of grief and loss. Like perhaps like I've lost a loved one for the first time since in my dead life.
How terribly dreadful. My heart cries out to you, Dr. Franz Birkenstock.
Do you think you are gonna be done with your body parts at some time soon?
Right, I think that is my indication to move towards the end of the interview here. Dr. Franz, I believe we're running out of time.
Are you sure? Because I feel like we could really get some head. Like if you don't need maybe like a pinky toe or maybe like your nose.
I'm well renowned for my nose and its beauty and its angulature, but I'm afraid I will have to maintain possession of my body parts for the moment.
All right. Well, those noses they go quick when you die. So
yes.
If you don't have plans
of quick, I've got just one quick question for you. One quick prompt. Right. I present this prompt to every one of my interviewees at the end of our interview session. So I'm going to present you with a soapbox to stand upon and to address the youth of this great and powerful nation, America. So this is your opportunity. What would you say to the youth of America had you the chance?
Hey kids, you got something you need done. You go out there and you do it. No matter what it takes, no matter who tries to stop you, no matter how many angry mobs run you out of grocery stores, smoke as many cigarettes as you want.
Here at Ghost Stories, we also do not recommend that necessarily.
I'm sorry. I'm taking back the cigarette thing. But all the other stuff stands.
We at Ghost Stories need to clarify that we do recommend the safety of our listeners.
Yeah.
Yes. Things said in this podcast should not be construed as advice in any way. Continue with your advice, Dr.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
So it's not advice, but it's supposed to be advice. Art, you're sending me mixed signals.
I'm sorry, I'm old.
It's your pure opinion. It's your pure opinion.
Continue with
guys,
your opinion.
Don't listen to me unless you want to, okay, kids? So go out into the graveyards, dig up as many holes as you want, find things, explore the scientific method, explore bodies, and celebrate life and death. And also don't go to art school.
Celebrate life and death. That is a wonderful little bead, little nugget of wisdom
Yeah.
we can
What? You
catch on.
forgot my part about exploring bodies.
That is all the time we have for this week,
Yeah.
folks.
Are you all right? Or do you sounded sort of like the Tasmanian devil there?
It's okay. I just get a little stressed when I realize the person I'm talking to is an absolute madman. But that's fine and irrelevant, right? Any final parting words?
I think we're good. Thank you so much.
We're good. Oh yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I had a great time.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Franz Birkenstock, and thank you to our lovely listeners. This has been Ghost Stories. Thank you. Come again.